All right, welcome everybody to week 5 of our social media training series. My name is James Ketchum, head of the soundboard team at Edge Theory. We are an official Juice Plus partner, bringing you the soundboard and all of this great social media training. So the last 2 weeks we've been talking about a lot of the ins and outs of Facebook and some prospecting tips there. So tonight we're really going to delve into some Twitter prospecting tips and ideas. And the next week will be our last week, and we'll talk fast, but we're going to try to talk through Buffer, Instagram, and LinkedIn all in one go. Okay, so if you recall our 5 steps to social media success, we're still looking at the conversation piece of this. One of the traps I think that it's pretty easy to fall into with social media is that we take the approach that we basically turn into billboards, and we just turn into people who just post, and we don't turn around and listen to people, and we don't try to engage people in conversation. And so tonight we're going to take a look at how Twitter better informs us about our audiences so that we can go out there and engage them in conversation. So I want to take a look at Twitter Analytics. Twitter Analytics is very robust in what it will tell you. There's a couple of ways to get to it, and I'm going to show you how to do so on your desktop. You cannot do all of what you're about to see through your mobile app. It will show you pieces of it, but not all of it. So to access the Twitter Analytics, when you're on your Twitter on your computer, up in the top right between the search bar and the tweet button is an icon for your profile. So hit that, and it's actually a menu. And then one of the choices in here is Analytics. Now, if you're just getting started on Twitter, you may not see that. I don't know what the threshold is that you have to cross where they start showing you your analytics, but one way around that is to log into Twitter and then just go to the website analytics.twitter.com and see if it lets you in with your account to get access to what we're going to see. But if you only have 2 followers and you've been on Twitter for a week, you don't have enough data in your profile yet to access it. So let's go on over here, and we are logged in as the Healthy Living Soundboard Twitter handle. So we're going to click here, and we're going to click Analytics. This is going to open up a new tab. So the first thing that we see here is a really nice overview of what's going on with the account. Okay, so it gives you a 28-day summary. Tells you the quantity of tweets you've sent out over those last 28 days. It tells you your impressions. So impressions is a metric that Twitter keeps track of because the platform moves so fast and because it's so consumption heavy, meaning people end up not necessarily engaging with tweets. They just read. This is the quantity of eyeballs that actually sees your stuff. So don't get lost in, well, I didn't get a ton of retweets. Check your impressions count for the quantity of people that could have seen your stuff. Now, the first 2 weeks I made a big fuss about getting your profile looking good. Well, this is why. Because Twitter Analytics tells you how many people visit your profile. So you can see we've had over 800 profile visits just in the last 28 days. That is so important, again, for you to have a good looking profile. Mentions is how many times people tweet at you, which again doesn't happen very frequently unless you are trying to start conversations. And then there's your follower growth. And so then it breaks it down by month. Okay, so this is looking at August. So far, the top tweet is our flash sale on our annual plans. And then you can actually view the analytics of the tweet itself. So it'll tell you the quantity of eyeballs and then all the types of engagement that you've received on the tweet, because Twitter keeps track of more than just retweets and likes, which are these first 2 things. If you got a profile click, meaning somebody actually clicked on your picture to visit you, so 2 people just from this tweet visited the profile. How many people clicked on the link or the picture? So it'll tell you all that stuff. It'll tell you who mentioned you. Okay, so here's somebody that was in a conversation with us. And then by month, it'll tell you all the things that the top banner tells you. And then it'll also tell you your top follower, top new follower, based on the quantity of followers that they have. So this is a great thing to keep track of. If you pick up a follower that has a big following, then by all means take the time to engage with them. And don't just say thanks for the follow. Go see what they're about. Try to start a conversation with them. This is all about startups. So you can keep going back as long as you are in the platform. Okay, I mean as far back as when you started your account. And it'll tell you the same things. Your top tweet for the month, your top mention. Your top media tweet means something that you tweeted that includes an image. And then again, look, we picked up a follower that has over 1 million followers, the editor-in-chief of The Cook's Cook. That is a terrific connection to make, okay? So go back and check all that stuff out month to month. The next thing we have here at the top is tweets. So this will tell you literally on a tweet by tweet basis what is going on with your account. All right. So here's your impressions. Let's go ahead and set this for, yeah, I guess we'll leave it like this. So this is how far we are into August. You can set it for an up to 3-month period. So it'll tell you your impression count, and then you can go and see exactly what happens to every single message. Okay. And so what I do is I kind of quickly glance. So you got 3 columns. Your impressions count. So again, that's your readership, your eyeballs. Your engagements on the tweet and your engagement rate on the tweet. We'll talk about engagement rate in a moment. But just kind of glance down this column here and see what pops up. Okay, we had a tweet that got higher than average. It was about improving your sleep through exercise. We had one about a whole food-based diet. Again, here's one about our sale that did well. So you can kind of see just from at a quick glance what bucks the trend, whatever your kind of normal trend line is in the impression count, and then go and keep talking about those things. You know, do that again. Repeat some of that content. Now over here, there's some big metrics. You know, the biggies that you're aware of. Your engagement rate. So you may be looking at that and thinking, wow, James, 1.9%, you're really knocking it out of the park. Well, we are, because the average engagement rate for any handle on Twitter is 0.09%, okay? Less than 0.1% is the average engagement rate. The highest I've ever seen is 3.5%, and that's on Match.com. We run all of Match.com stuff at Edge Theory. And so the point is, if you are anywhere higher than 0.1%, you are beating the average. And so when I look at this, I'm 20 times the average on Twitter. That is a terrific engagement rate, because remember, this platform is so consumption heavy that the fact that almost 2% of our tweets get engagement is a terrific number. And that is why you throw so much at Twitter. You know, we tweet for you through the soundboard 2 to 3 times a day. You can tweet 20 times a day, and it's not too much because of the nature of the platform. This next number is link clicks, okay? This is a great, gives you a sense of how many people are clicking on links that you are publishing. Again, with Soundboard, if we are tweeting for you, a lot of what we tweet, not everything, but a lot of what we tweet sends out links to your Juice Plus site. So this is a great metric of your kind of how the visitors are doing to your site. And then you've got your retweets, your likes, and your replies here. Okay, and again, you can kind of play around with this date range if you want. Now the next thing is audiences, and this is where it gets so fascinating. I cannot tell you where they get a lot of this data other than association, okay? But the first thing we've got here is interests. So, y'all, I'm so sorry. My children are so loud. I'm going to stop them very fast. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. 1,000 apologies. Sorry. Okay, so we're looking at interests here. I don't really care that my audience cares about comedic movies and television. Not important to me, or music. But it is valuable to me to know that my audience cares about business and news. So I know that I need to be talking about that kind of thing. Small business ownership, entrepreneurship, things like that, things that fit with the Juice Plus lifestyle and world. Also, they care a lot about health, mind, and body. Okay, so there's some things here that I could be talking about that would catch my audience's attention, but I'm not going to. It's totally out of character with what I'm trying to do with this handle. So some of this stuff you can ignore, but some of this stuff, you know, you need to be talking about it, okay? Helpful to know your gender of your followers, I think, so you can kind of balance topics based on stereotypical interest. I don't know how they know this, and I don't really find that helpful. This can be interesting if you do have, you know, this kind of self-employed audience. Again, I don't know how they know. But look, this is where things get really interesting. Consumer buying styles, because we're in business, right? Let's call a spade a spade. We're trying to make some money here. So what does my audience have an interest in? 81% of my audience is interested in premium brands. Well, my first assumption of that would be, does that mean Louis Vuitton and Tesla cars, or something else? Well, when you highlight this, it says people who shop premium and high-end brands across the grocery store. Okay, so that tells me people are interested in eating real food because it's more expensive to eat that way, and probably organic. Next thing on the list, fresh and healthy, people who look for healthier home solutions, fresh produce, and fresh meat. So again, we're nailing that conversation. That is a lot of what our audience is interested in. Quick and easy. Now this says people who choose heat and eat convenience. Of course, on the surface, that looks like it means fast food. I'm going to assume that it means healthy options in the heat and eat convenience aisle. Home cooking and grilling. Ethnic explorers is also maybe not what you'd assume. Wide range of international foods on their shopping list. And then we've got a couple of hangovers here of not near as much, but natural living, weight conscious, value conscious, vegetarian. Okay. What does this tell me? I have an overwhelming audience that cares explicitly about eating healthy regardless of the cost, and finding ways to pull that off in a relatively fast way, and probably a lot of home cooking, therefore cooking for families. How do we do this? When you take a look at what Twitter's trying to tell you about your audience, it gives you a lot of information about how to better continue talking to them to drive that engagement. All right. There's some other buttons in here that I find a little less helpful, but you can check them out. You got some more demographics here with age, income, language, occupation, country, if you are trying to get outside of the US. So you can see your success rate there. If you're one of the folks that I've talked to that's trying to start up a Juice Plus in Dubai, you know, you can kind of check here and see how that's going for you. But just check out and see what's helpful. They'll unpack some of these other things that we've talked about. Some of this that I don't really care what wireless carrier you're on, you know, things like that. But click around in there and see what's going on. And then if you do set up, if you're a power user and you want to set up some ads, keep in mind, my understanding is you're not allowed to mention product while promoting that through advertising, but you can promote yourself. You can promote you, and you can promote articles and things like that if you want to get in front of more people. So that's how you would go about doing that. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to talk through tonight, and remember, this is a webinar format. I can't hear you, so please ask questions through the chat if you have any as we go. The other thing that I want to talk about, we already saw that, is lists, Twitter lists. Twitter, once you get on there and you start following a lot of people, your home feed becomes very unwieldy. especially if you start following over 500 people, because the people that you follow don't always talk about the exact thing, the reason that you followed them, you know, because they're people and they have various interests. So what a list does on Twitter is it lets you consume information in a much more manageable format. So you can create a list and put in accounts of various topics and themes, and then when you want to know more about that topic, you can visit that list. Okay, so for instance, I have a list on my personal Twitter handle of all my local news anchors, because I am not going to waste half an hour of my life watching my 6 o'clock news. I live in Mississippi. It's the pits. But my news anchors know what's going on, and they're always tweeting about road closures and traffic and which water main has erupted this week, you know, that kind of stuff. And so I can find that stuff out in seconds by looking at my Jackson News list. Okay, super easy. I have a list of all the bands that I follow, so I never miss a tour date. I have, you know, a list of all my old Land Rover stuff. So the point is, a list makes it super easy to consume content. To set up a list, we're going to go back to Twitter here. We're going to go home. We're going to go to our profile here. And you see one of the buttons at the top here is lists. So we're going to create a list here. Now, this is the soundboard handle. I do not use, my team, we do not use this handle to consume information. So we don't really have a list set up for that purpose here. But to do so, you just create a new list, and then you have a choice here. You can name it as a public list, meaning other people can discover it and follow it, or you can even share it. Like, you could make a really great list of healthy living influencers and then share that with your team, you know, so that everybody's kind of on the same page. Or you can make it private just for you, your choice. Once you do that, all right, so this is one that we made last fall when my CEO Joe and I were at fall conference, because we were trying to follow some influencers, okay? So what we've got here is we added 19 members to it, and so when you look at this list, this is the tweets of all of the people in that list, all right? And then you can go see the members of that list here, okay? And so here's some of the folks we were trying to see what they were up to at the conference. So again, it makes it super easy to consume content from this group of people only. Now, here's the really interesting thing, especially if you've been on Soundboard for a while and may or may not pay attention to Twitter. People add you to their lists, and you might have missed it. It'll tell you in your notifications, but I'm constantly told by people, once they learn how to check this, that they are surprised how many lists they are on that they didn't even know about, all right? So to figure this out, type this website in, HTTP, twitter.com/ whatever your Twitter handle is, /memberships, okay? Twitter.com/ your Twitter name, /memberships. When you do this, it will bring you here. And do you see, I'm at twitter.com/ juiceplushelper/ memberships. It's showing me all of these lists that I have been put on by other people. Okay, look at all these lists. Because I'm tweeting all the time, these are incredible people to interact with. Now, please be clear, this is not the same as a Facebook group. You being a member of a group, of a list, does not mean that you automatically see the content that the other people on the list post. Really, only the author of the list sees that on a regular basis. But here is how to leverage this, okay? Visit the list. first of all, by clicking here. So here we have healthy recipes by a handle named weight loss. Who is this person? So you click on this list. She's said it's a list of other Twitter users interested in hashtag health recipes. Now, this is a live Twitter search, y'all. I'm sorry. I never know what's going to happen. So just stick with me. I'll do my best. So these are 4,990 people who have been added to this list by this person, who are probably good people to try to engage with because they're interested in healthy recipes. Now, I'm going to click here. Make a quick scan. Uh-oh. All right, sorry. You never know. So check out the list, this membership list. All right, there was something inappropriate there. If you missed it, I'm glad. But go through and check out some of these people and figure out, this is a great way to find people to follow and to interact with, okay? And so just here, you can see, you can maybe learn a little bit something about them. Okay, so we've got a beauty entrepreneur here, somebody always working, high school PE department. But you can go down and find these people who are probably healthy-minded, who you can follow and then maybe start a conversation with. Okay, depending on what they're talking about. Okay. Welcome to my healthy lifestyle journey. My goal is to inspire and motivate myself and others every day. Okay, here's a perfect example. Follow that person, send them a tweet. What's going on with Adama? Ask them how their healthy living journey is going. More likely than not, they have not heard of Juice Plus. All right, so we're looking at the list of tweets published by the people who are in this list. Okay, so let's go back here and check another one. The other thing that you want to do when you check out these lists is try to engage with the person who put you on the list. It always says by so-and-so, by so-and-so. Visit this person's profile. Figure out what they're all about. Okay, this is the crazy kale lady. Well, she's a social media expert for small business owners. So you might not need Sandy's help because you got me. But at the same time, she might be interested in healthy living because she is the crazy kale lady. What is the name of this list? The name of this list is people who love whole food because food doesn't fit. So ask her a question about whole food. How's her whole food journey going? Okay, same thing. You can go all the way down. Culinary list by this person. Healthy living friends by this person. I don't know what that means, following tags, but organic newsroom could be somebody good to follow along with. Fitness fans, okay? I mean, it keeps going and going and going. So again, figure this out. If you're on lists and have been put on them, twitter.com/ whatever your Twitter handle is, /memberships. Take the time to engage with the admins of these lists and then go check out the other members of these lists and see if they are people that are worth engaging with and following, okay? Because I bet you will find a lot of new people that you can start conversations with like this. Pretty good tip. All right, I've talked a lot. Anybody have any questions? I know Twitter's weird. For those of you that joined after I said this the first time, we do have a 20% off annual plans for new soundboard signups through the end of the month. We'd love to have anybody on your team that hasn't joined. Also check the Facebook page in a little while. I'll post the video to this, and if you would like to be added to my soundboard update and social media training Voxer thread, send me a Vox, and I'll be happy to put you on that so you can get links to recordings and news about upcoming trainings. Anybody else have a question, or anybody at all have a question? If not, I'll give you 4 minutes of your life back and end 4 minutes early. Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to go put my children to bed. Y'all have a great night. See you next week.